The time tracker is a stopwatch feature under the Utilities tab where you can keep a running total of your time spent on different projects. This comes in handy if you bill clients by the hour, especially if you have different rates for different projects. To start a new entry, fill in the task that you're working on. If it makes sense, you can select a Dubsado project and invoice within that project, as well as add an hourly rate. There's space to add a description, tax, and income category too. You will be able to make adjustments later on, so don't worry if you don't have all of this info yet. Then click the green play button to start the timer. You're free to work in other areas of Dubsado as needed while the timer is on. A red dot will be visible on the left side menu as a reminder that the clock is still running. When you're done, or when you're taking a break, head back to the time tracker and hit the red stop button to stop the timer. Time entries under the Open tab have not been applied to an invoice. At any point, you can restart the clock on a previous entry by clicking the small gray play button under the action column. You can also edit this entry with the pencil icon. When you're ready to officially add a time entry to the invoice it's connected with, click the Apply to Invoice button. You can see time entries that have been applied under the Invoiced tab. On the actual invoice itself, the entry is its own line item, which you can edit if needed. You can also add entries from the time tracker here inside the invoice. Tip number 1. The name of the task becomes the name of the invoice line item when you apply the entry to an invoice. Tip number 2. You can manually edit the length of time captured by the time tracker. This is helpful if you'd like to round up to the nearest minute or hour. Tip number 3. Consider using a third-party platform if you'd like in-depth data about your time management. Dubsado's time tracker is a fairly simple tool.